How's my online class doing out there today? Not yet, though. Okay. Well, today I'm in front of my class, and today I'm going to demonstrate a icebreaker speech, which each of you will have to do, as well as the students in my class. This icebreaker speech should be about 4 to 5 minutes. You should do it in front of an audience, and you should try to include everything that we learned so far in public speaking. Things like gestures, smiling, talking slowly, enunciating your words, trying not to use too many ahs or ums or okays, having a good time with your speech, telling a few jokes maybe, but whatever you do, the idea is to tell others about yourself so that when you get through with the speech, I should know more about you than I did before. If you want to use notes, that's fine. I don't recommend it because if you use notes, it's like you're looking at your notes all the time and not at your audience. That's one reason. Because it's a 4-minute speech, and also because you're talking about yourself, you should be able to do that within 4 minutes. Yes, I recommend that you practice the speech just like I did today 2 or 3 times. So I should do a pretty good job, but we'll see. I'm having my students tell me what I did well, what I didn't do well, and then I'm going to have one of my favorite students tell me tell me what I did exceedingly well. Is that right, Matt? So let's give it a try. Hello, my name is John Eggers, and I was born at the age of 22 in 1965. How about that? How can that possibly be that I was born at the age of 22 in 1965? Well, let me tell you the story. I grew up in a small town in southern Minnesota called Waterville. Waterville is 60 miles south of Minneapolis. It's 26 miles east of Mankato, 18 miles west of Faribault, 10 miles north of Waseca. How many know that area a little bit? Southern Minnesota, a little bit. Well, Waterville is in the heart of the southern Minnesota Lakes region. It has 2 lakes right in town, Tetonka and Cicada. Both those words, by the way, are from the Lakota. Tetonka means buffalo, and Cicada means singing hills. Now, I didn't learn that until about 25 years ago. None of my teachers ever told me that, which they should have, by the way, because we have a rich Native American history in Waterville, but no one ever told me that. Well, Waterville was the center of my universe, and that's where I grew up. Minneapolis was a long ways away. Even Mankato, back to the 1950s, that was a long ways away, 20 miles. So Waterville was it. My parents shopped in town. My dad was a banker in town. All my friends were in town. So that really was it for me. There were 4 rituals that all boys in Waterville had to do. It was kind of like you might say, a walkabout. To be accepted as a boy, these are the things you had to do. First of all, you had to swipe watermelons. You had to go to somebody's watermelon patch and swipe watermelons. Now, this is the time of the year that we would do that. We would begin talking about who has the best patch in town, and then on one cool, crisp night, we would go to that patch and swipe as many watermelons as we could, without being shot in the butt with buckshot. Now, no one ever did that, but that was always a rumor that you're going to be shot. So we got our watermelons and took off. The second ritual was that you had to pick up a cigarette butt from the street and go to someplace and smoke it. And so we did that a lot. We always went to the sand pit and smoked cigarette butts right up from the street or from our mother's ashtray or wherever we could get them. In those days, they were cheap, so we always had long cigarette butts. So I grew up smoking a long, long time ago, but I never smoked when I was in high school or ever after. The third ritual was that in the spring, we would get our spears, go down to the creeks, and try to spear northerns or suckers. Now, even though I didn't do it personally, I always went with somebody that did, and that was a ritual also. And then the other ritual was that you had to park with a gal out in Woodtick Hollow at least once or twice in your life. So those were the rituals that I grew up with, and we all did those kinds of things, and that was part of growing up in Waterville. Well, I loved school. I mean, that was it for me because there was nothing else going on in my hometown. I mean, in those days, everything that happened in the school. There's no activities like there are today. All the things happen in school, and so that's where you went. And I loved school, and I participated in football and basketball In track, I scored my first touchdown when I was in 7th grade. I was homecoming king. I was all-conference football when I was a junior. But I'd also voted the most quiet boy in my class, too, along with Charlotte Tucker, who was voted the most quiet girl. So, but I really loved school. And when I graduated from high school, that was the worst day of my life, because I didn't want to leave school. It was a safe place to be. The teachers were my surrogate parents. I mean, I could go to them, and even though we didn't really share, nevertheless, I could always count on them being there, and they were always there. There was never a thought in my mind of not going on to college. Even though my parents were not college graduates, both my grandfathers were college graduates. So when it time to come to graduation, then of course I went off to college. I first started out at Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, and that was too expensive. I went there to play football. I was not a good player. I could not get focused on football. Did not have the passion for it. Did not have the tiger eye for it, whatever. And so I left Luther after a year and a half and transferred to Mankato, and that's where I finished my undergraduate degree. Well, while in Mankato, and I enjoyed college. I did not get good grades in high school. I got a C average at best, C minus average in high school. But in college, I excelled. Because I really liked what I was going into, and that was physical education and Spanish. I mean, that was my passion, teaching physical education. I just wanted to do that. When I was a junior, I taught my first school in Madison Lake, Minnesota, and that was in 1964. That was 50 years ago today. How about that? So I've been teaching for 50 years. Well, between my junior and senior year, I kind of maybe got what you guys feel sometimes, that school wasn't really all it cut out to be. I was bored in college. You know, where was I going? So I applied for the Peace Corps, and then was accepted in 1965 to go to Uruguay as a junior in college. At those days, you could do that. You could even apply to the Peace Corps after you graduate from high school. Today, you have to be at least a college graduate to apply for the Peace Corps. Well, I got the letter in 1965. It says, John Eggers, you have been accepted to go to the country of Uruguay. So what do you think I did when I received that letter? Went to a map and found out, where is Uruguay? Anyway, how many here, if they were shown a map of the world, could pick out the country of Uruguay? Moses, you could. Where is it, Moses?
It's in South America.
Do you know approximately where it is?
It's kind of in the middle.
You're thinking of Paraguay, which I was thinking of. But Uruguay is the first country south of Brazil and then north of Argentina. Small country, about the size of Iowa, Missouri. But it's a relatively rich country compared to the other countries in South America. And I went there, believe it or not, to coach basketball. That was my job in the Peace Corps, to coach basketball. 5'10" guy from Waterville, Minnesota, who wasn't even a starter on his basketball team, went sent to South America to coach basketball. Well, as I said earlier, I was born in 1965 at the age of 22. And that's my story. Was? All right. Time, Megan. Let me guess. About 7 or 8 minutes, huh? 6? Oh, that's not too bad. 6:30. I thought it was a lot longer now. So 6 minutes, 30 seconds. A little bit too long. Should have been about 5 minutes. So we want to watch the time. We don't want to go over. Especially in this class, we have a lot of people giving speeches, so we don't want to. So try to get it between 4 and 5 minutes, which is not easy to do sometimes. And how about things that you think I did pretty well over here? Anybody?
You were loud enough so I could hear you.
All right, that's good. It was loud enough. All right. What else? Anybody?
I would say your story, I wasn't expecting how it was going to go, but
Okay.
I was intrigued.
All right. It was a kind of intriguing story. All right.
Kept me going.
Okay. Kept your interest up. That's good. Anything else I did well?
We had some bad things for you.
I know you do. All right. Okay. I'm holding off. Anything else I did well? Anybody? Kirsten, Rachel, anything? I asked a question, Cody said. All right. Good. Okay. What else? Good eye contact. I always do good eye contact. This is kind of confusing now, the monitor. Good eye contact. What else? Hannah, anything else? Didn't stutter. All right. Hey, that's good. You stutter a lot. Okay, how about things I can work on?
I I didn't understand how the intro and
Did,
the story.
yeah. Well, I could have ended a little better. Actually, I was born in 1965 to 22. That's when really life began for me. Because the Peace Corps did it all for us. I could explain that better. I could explain that. Good point. Okay, other things. What else could I have done better? What kind of number to give me, Saban?
He's about 9.5.
9.5. You gave all these guys a 10. You give me 9.5.
Correction, wasn't all of us.
All right.
Made it clarify.
All right, Mac, what did I do exceedingly well, you think?
Well, your hand gestures were really good.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
You made it kind of, not just boring, it's not saying it was boring, but it's like, no, I just- I just think
Alright.
hand gestures really
Okay.
make a speech.
All right.
And
Okay,
I
yeah.
liked your stories, your childhood stories
Okay.
about what you did in your hometown, because I was, I don't know, kind of
There was-
something personal about yourself.
Good. Okay, reveal something about myself? Very good. All right, so that's what you have to do. You have to give a 4 to 5 minute speech about yourself, and just do it, okay? And I'll put something in the Dropbox where you leave your speech there, and we'll see you later.